Hey, flight instructors out there. It's been a rough 8 weeks in Northern California flight training, at least as far as what I've seen. Um, you've all worked with me before, and you know that this situation would be unprecedented. That is, that the disapproval rate for check rides for me that I've encountered in the last 8 weeks has been about 75% across the board, first time disapprovals. And this is unprecedented in my career so far as a designated pilot examiner. This isn't something that any of us want. I haven't gotten tougher. It seems to me like people are coming to me not adequately prepared to the testing standards, the ACS primarily. And so I want to encourage you, CFIs, to A, know the ACS, B, teach those standards to your students at some point along the way in flight training, okay? There's a lot of different ideas about when to introduce those. You don't want to introduce them on the first day of flight training. Instead, maybe have your student learn to feel the airplane first so they can learn airmanship skills, okay? But somewhere along the way you do need to introduce these so that your students know what the standard is that they're going to be tested by. And keep in mind that the ACS standards are the minimum standards, and that's enough for them to go have a license to learn in the real world, okay? So don't train to these as the top end of the standard, okay? So know them, teach them, and then finally, if they're not ready by ACS standards, okay, if you've given them multiple mock check rides and they simply cannot pass all of the items to ACS standards with confidence and you feel like you have no doubt that they're going to pass, then don't sign them off, okay? I know it's a difficult conversation to have when someone has a dream and they are so excited to move forward with that dream. And they're frustrated because of the cost, inconvenience, how hard it is, etc. But listen, as CFIs, we have an obligation, okay, morally, ethically, legally, etc., to only endorse people for check rides who are ready, okay, per the testing standards at a minimum, okay? And there's all sorts of things that I suspect may have been happening of late. Maybe there was family pressure to get signed off for a check ride. Hey, somebody wants their kid to be an airline pilot. Maybe there's money pressures. I get it. It's expensive to learn to fly. Maybe somebody is a high-powered, very financially successful and otherwise successful executive, and they're used to winning, and they're not used to hearing no, or you haven't met the standard yet, okay? It does not matter. If they are not ready, resist those pressures and do not endorse them, okay? Now, you might think that, oh, I'll just endorse this person, get him off my back, and the DPE will fix it. That person might have the best day of their life on their check ride, and they may pass. Best case scenario, if a person like this keeps getting handed through the system, is that they continue, spend all this time and money. Let's say they want to be a pro pilot, okay? They spend all this time and money, and they get to the end of the game and they cannot pass professional level airline pilot training. Now what? Okay. That's best case scenario. Worst case scenario is they go hurt people or themselves. Okay. And none of us want that on our hands. So I encourage you to think, CFIs, about this seriously. Resist school pressures, resist your own internal pressures, and have those hard conversations with applicants if they need to be had, okay? Now, I know that a lot of checkrides, it might be a little mistake here or there. And guess what? All of us have been granted a lot of grace for small errors on checkrides. Okay, it's up to the DPE to use their judgment to decide what is a consistent exceedance of tolerances. Now, that amount of grace that can be given gets smaller and smaller with the level of certification. All right. So what might be forgiven on a private pilot check ride because it's not considered a consistent exceedance of tolerances at a private pilot level, guess what? If you're going for a CFI check ride, that same thing isn't going to fly. It just can't, right? So don't count on that grace. Make sure they're ready. And if you're in doubt in general about somebody's safety as a pilot or their readiness for a check ride and to go be a pilot in the real world, ask yourself, would I want this person carrying my family member in the airplane with them? Or do I want this person in the pattern with me if they don't have help? Okay? Ask these questions of yourself. If the answer is no, think about how you get to a yes. And if you can't, get some help. Get some other suggestions on it, okay? There's a lot of great experienced pilots and instructors out there. And there's a lot of techniques out there that you can learn as a CFI. Okay, so know the ACS, teach the ACS, hold to the standard, guys. It's an important job. I know you're up to the task. Apply yourselves to it, please. I'm cheering for you. Let's get this course corrected.